So the final question is, can we end homelessness? And if so, how?
So this question, when addressing this question, I want to specifically focus on discussion on ending Indigenous homelessness. In order to address Indigenous homelessness, I believe that we require a commitment to foster respectful engagement and equitable relationships with Indigenous communities. And this commitment needs to be ongoing. There's a rising need to identify resources for conducting ethical research and gathering data to determine the number of Indigenous peoples who are experiencing homelessness. And this data must be evaluated to determine the core causes of homelessness and address any service gaps. When it comes to proposals for the future and how to end and address homelessness, this vision must include housing governance structures that are both effective and efficient. So I referenced the TRC's final report here because this is something that I really think that we need to draw in when considering the ways that we can end homelessness. The TRC's final report has, and I quote, identified our collective responsibility to apologize for the intergenerational trauma inflicted by residential schools. Now we must foster healing and work towards stronger partnership with Indigenous communities. While the report did not mention homelessness specifically, the impact of residential schools can be seen as a direct cause of the overrepresentation of Indigenous peoples experiencing homelessness. The new short-term federal investment in affordable housing for Indigenous peoples both on and off reserve is only a first step towards improving outcomes for Indigenous peoples. Further political, social, and financial backing is required to end Indigenous homelessness in Canada. According to Grantham's work, 2021, there are insufficient statistics to measure both visible and hidden homelessness in communities, making it difficult to identify the problem and arrange effective solutions. There's not much of a difference between poverty reduction services and those for at-risk of homelessness. Grantham also just suggests that at a community level, creating a multi-sectoral action plan is a course of action that may be worth prioritizing over the short term to open communication, encourage coordination and collaboration between sectors, and develop a community-wide prevention network. There's also a willingness in communities to invest more time and effort into homelessness prevention, for example, by focusing on building the self-esteem of at-risk individuals and offering things such as pre-employment programs. A strategy for Indigenous housing must be exclusively directed by providing housing that meets the requirements for all Indigenous peoples. And this is where I come in the discussion, and just as a friendly reminder that Indigenous peoples cannot pan-Indigenize and have to recognize the unique needs. And also recognize the requirements of all Indigenous peoples, whether they live in or outside of their communities. In this conversation, I believe it is vital to mention the End Homelessness Winnipeg's objective to work with the community to develop long-term solutions that prevent and end homelessness in order to realize their vision of a community where everyone has a home and the resources that they require to thrive. I also think it's important to acknowledge the objectives of housing access and supply, homelessness prevention, assessment and measurement, and the person-centered care systems that are recommended by End Homelessness Winnipeg. They also guide their objectives by the United Nations determination that housing is a human right, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and the Truth and Reconciliation must be relied on as a road to eradicating Indigenous homelessness.